Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. You got Cory here with you as always, and in today's video, starting that hype train for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad early by reviewing 2016 Suicide Squad on 4K Blu-ray. Definitely not a review of the film itself. I think the internet, all you have to do is Google it. You can see that this is not the most well-received comic book film of all time. However, this will be a review strictly of the video and audio presentation of this disc and whether I think it is worth owning. So, packaging-wise, very colorful, just like a lot of the studio-mandated colors that are in the film. Pop her open, got a slip for a digital code, some paraphernalia for DC Comics, and then there are two discs. There's the 4K Blu-ray, which is the theatrical version, and then, surprise, surprise, there's an extended cut here. So perhaps all of the release the air cut people, all they had to do was go out and buy the 4K disc, and perhaps they will be satiated. Spoiler alert, they won't be satiated. There's a large movement for whatever the director's true vision of this film was to come out, a la Zack Snyder's Justice League. If it comes out, we'll take a look at it. We'll see if it's any better. Who knows if that'll ever happen? Guessing it probably won't. So, tech specs on this disc. This was a film from 2016. It was shot with a 2K digital intermediate, so it's upscaled to 4K. 239:1 aspect ratio. HDR10 for its HDR pass-through, and it has a Dolby Atmos audio track. So I'm going to be a little bit tough on this one, especially on the visual side of things. This is a newer film. It came out the same year as Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which, if you may recall, is one of my favorite 4K discs out there in terms of both visual and audio quality. That film is tack sharp, has incredible HDR and beautiful colors to it, whereas this one, at first I thought, did I put in the wrong disc? Did I put in the standard Blu-ray? Because it just wasn't that sharp. The shadow detail wasn't really all that great. The black levels looked a little bit raised in some spots. It wasn't really doing it for me. I remembered that this is also streaming on HBO Max, so I took a moment and paused the 4K disc. I went over to my Apple TV 4K, went into HBO Max, which does only stream in 1080p, so it's similar to that of a Blu-ray disc, minus the streaming aspect of it all. I couldn't really see too many differences between that and the 4K disc. So, with so many other films that I've reviewed and given glowing reviews to, especially older films that have just taken on a ridiculous amount of new life, this just didn't stack up, which I guess maybe it's par for the course with this film, kind of getting panned by both critics and audiences alike. So, I don't want to spend too much time on the video other than the fact that it just didn't really do it for me. It was a little soft, not too contrasty, and just didn't really pop off the screen quite the way that I thought it would. So for video, 5 out of 10, and that is probably generous. So going into the audio track, this is much, much, much better than the video. It does have a Dolby Atmos track, and in typical Warner Brothers fashion, it was a booming. It was a good one. So this is a very action-heavy film. There are lots of gunshots. Obviously Will Smith plays Deadshot. He shoots a lot of guns. There's a lot of explosions and fires and things that help engage the surrounds in your home theater setup. Anytime one of these dogfights was happening on screen, tons of surround activity. This is also a very music-heavy film. It almost kind of felt like DC's answer to the original Guardians of the Galaxy that came out 2 years prior, which in hindsight is kind of funny considering that James Gunn went from the Guardians movies to making this new The Suicide Squad that comes out this year. So life is strange that way. But whenever the music hit, it was great. The music filled up all the speakers, really nice bass support. Anytime Killer Croc made any noise, you get a nice nice LFE presence there from his deep voice as a crocodile, which was pretty cool. Anytime Diablo lit up his Human Torch flame on, that kind of kicked around the surrounds as well. And there were a few times that there were some pretty convincing Atmos height base effects in this film as well. This film, there are some people on the internet that are not fans of it because of the fact that there are multiple times that helicopters go up and then down without anybody really getting hurt. That being said, anytime one of those helicopters showed up, very convincing Atmos effect there. It really did feel like the propellers were spinning above the listening space, and then as a helicopter would either go away or pass over you, you would feel that. It was very immersive. It really did put you into that bubble. I also thought dialogue was pretty good. Maybe could have been a smidge louder in some of the more action-heavy sequences, but in some of the more dialogue-driven scenes, crystal clear, very easy to hear, no problem whatsoever. So for the audio on this one, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy feeling some of the Atmos. The bass presence was great, and good surround activity, both from effects and music. It's really all you can ask for in a film like this. So at the end, would I say that this film is worth picking up? Only if you're really a fan of it, or if you're like me and you're a completionist and you want to have every film from a cinematic universe. I have Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Aquaman, Birds of Prey, this movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League is on the way. It's going to be here in September. So for me, if I didn't have it, it would feel like there was something missing. I probably won't revisit it too many times, but it is here in the collection. Also, if you're a fan of, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's terrific in this. Will Smith is great as Deadshot. There are some bright spots, and a few of the characters from this film are showing up in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. So if you want to get your first glimpse of them, this is the film in which to do it. So if you're a fan or a completionist, definitely worth picking up. If not, maybe not so much. But I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this film, if you've seen it, whether that's on iTunes or HBO Max or 4K stream or 4K disc. Curious to hear your thoughts on the video and audio presentation. And as always, you can support the channel here for free. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications, and share with your friends. We will have a review of both A Quiet Place Part 2, the movie, and the 4K disc coming tomorrow and Thursday. A Bad Batch review on Friday. And then The Green Knight comes out this week, so we might check that out and get a review up on the channel before next week with the second episode of Ted Lasso. So lots of great stuff coming from us, so please stay tuned. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.